Otherwise it won't broadcast out. Remember somebody posting a message about that.
Okay, you're on. Do you need a... Oh, I have a blanket for your ankles. Do you want to start this turn?
Sure. Sang shi bi
Jung shi mi tong Trong li ra mi shi Nyan de gen pa vi Sang ge shin du Me te o Gira kunanda Shila chupasho Hinambu anakanda Churam choki chokram Janchu Barurakni Kapsuchi Laki Jinyan Lipe Sunamki Trula Pinshi Sangi Drupasho Sangi Churam Suki Chukramha Janchu Barurakni Kapsuchi Laki Jinyan Lipe Sunamki Drula Pinshi Sangi Drupasho Churam Toki Churam Yanchu Baru Agni Katsushi Laki Jinyan Gipe Sunamki Drola Panshi Sangi Drupachu. Well, it's kind of exciting, is it for me? So first I thought, would you be able, the two of you, to share duties with setting up the class? And you can contact each other, and if you can't make it, then maybe Yasmin can do it and vice versa. And make sure we get you a key after class so you can enter. Please remind me.
I'm saying Marissa, I work every second Friday until noon.
Okay. I can come early like I did today. The only caveat is my daughter has a chronic illness. So in that case, sometimes it's very last minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah.
I'll text either one of you
Okay.
Yeah.
if that happens. But otherwise I can be here hands down.
Sure. If it happens, then it's no problem.
Okay.
You know, we'll figure out.
Okay.
There's always Amanda, so we can
Yeah.
have as a third person.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think between three
Yeah.
should work, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you need a binder, right, for this class.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to arrange that somehow. So there's 4 other people that are going to join, that have confirmed that they will join this course
Yeah.
next week.
So that's 4 plus 2 is 6. You need 6 binders. I know you're supposed to send a link to clockwise. I'm going to ask them, but I don't know how to do that.
I will.
I can talk to Amanda if you like. I don't mind picking them up
Okay.
because we're going to pick up the ones for Tuesday evening. I said I would,
okay.
I said I would help her do that.
Maybe you can do it at the same
Same
time.
time.
Yeah, but let's first confirm with the others that maybe some of them already have it.
Okay.
How many we would need.
Okay.
So I'll send out an email, and then I'll refer them to you. Okay?
Okay.
So if they want to buy it, that they should contact you
Okay.
in the next couple of days or something. Make a note of that.
Do you know how the link is sent?
I don't, but I'm gonna figure that out.
Yeah, I'll ask Amanda. I had a look, but I couldn't figure it out on my own.
Okay, good. Okay, so this course is called Applied Meditation. So we're going to learn everything about meditation, which is pretty cool. So what comes to mind when you are thinking meditation? Like what? How would it look like, a good meditation? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, it would be a consistent practice,
Mm-hmm.
and that it changes over time.
Sure.
Your ability to sit and meditate. There's a discipline behind it. Different techniques.
How about goals? What would be the point of meditating?
I think its ultimate goal is to have a proper perception of we're learning in these courses of life and the meaning of life. From a practical point of view, I notice when I do meditate, my day is much more smooth than when I don't. I run into more obstacles when I don't meditate. But I haven't reached that place of utter stillness, or just, there's times when I have a greater sense of well-being during meditation, but those are very, very limited, rare experiences. Yeah. But, yeah, so I think the goal is to perceive that emptiness, that elusive emptiness. Everybody keeps talking about it.
Yeah.
But I think in the meantime, right, like you were saying, like for me it's beneficial, like if I can start my day off with some sitting,
Mm-hmm.
I really notice that things are less jagged and I'm much more in my centered and grounded
Yeah.
than if I don't spend the time.
Yeah.
And it's better for other people who are around me. So it's for me and it's for other people as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would say that goal of meditation would be to be more calm, or not to be stressed out. And in Buddhism, this lineage is this nice. It's nice byproducts. It will happen automatically, right? Like you say, it just happens. When you do it, you feel better, you feel more centered. but it's not the goal. The goal would be to see emptiness directly, for sure. Because if you get less stressed out, if that's your goal, I mean, that's great, but you're still gonna get old, you get sick, and you die, right? And the goal that we're studying here would be to overcome all that. And to figure out how reality really is working. And that's really worth your time. So, in the meantime, yeah, it's great if you can have a daily practice. And it doesn't matter if it's a crappy meditation, if it's not very still, doesn't matter, because you are planting seeds for something greater, right? So whatever happens in the moment in your meditation doesn't really matter so much how it makes you feel. It's not a goal to make you feel good right now, right? Of course, it's nice if it happens, but it's not something we're after. We're after something larger. And that is to end suffering completely. To be completely outside of the realm of suffering. So they say there's two kinds of people in the world, two kinds of beings in the world, and everybody can be divided in one of these two groups. And those two groups are you've either seen emptiness directly or you haven't. So bugs can be divided into like everybody, right? So once you have seen emptiness directly, then you'll be on your way out of suffering, and it will be quickly. And quickly you'll come to this place where you have no more negative emotions, which is nirvana. So all you need to do is get to emptiness first, to seeing emptiness directly, and everything will become clear. And then also, if you are in the bodhisattva track, what happens when you see emptiness is that you'll get this intense direct experience of bodhicitta, where your heart cracks open. So it will depend on emptiness. And this seeing emptiness needs to be done in deep meditation. If you don't meditate daily, then you can't see it. So it's very possible that meditation will not be pleasant for a while. It could be frustrating. It could not make you feel so good. But that will come. That will come. It's important to push through because your life is at stake. So meditation is like a tool, right? It's a means to an end. So we don't have to get old, die and suffer. The point of the meditation is to realize. So, and what happens as you are doing, and know you are doing it, like your meditation becomes kind of an all-day thing. Your meditation overflows into your daily life, right? So it goes both ways. When you're out of meditation, you behave a certain way, you have certain things on your mind that will benefit your meditation. In meditation, you do certain things that will help you in your daily life. So it's a two-way street. Like it's not separate. It comes together. It's a whole lifestyle. I don't think there's much point that if you try to meditate and then be a jerk all day, you know, it just doesn't really work, right? It just goes hand in hand. It complements each other. So it helps you in your daily life to become a better person. And by all the virtue that you do, your meditation will become better. So the texts that are being used for this class, there's quite a few different scriptures that are being used for this whole course, and I'm not going to list them all because it gets too confusing. But as we go, I will let you know what we're working from. It's good to know what, even though it might not be the most exciting part of the class, it's good to know where it comes from. You know that it's a long line of lineage, that goes all the way back to Lord Buddha. And so one of the texts that we're working with today is called the Prayer of Samantabhadra. And these are the teachings on how to prepare for meditation. And they were taught by Lord Buddha. And was written in 500 BC. So this text is all about preparing for meditation so your meditation can be successful.
It's amazing, 500 BC.
So the second scripture that we use is, you remember from last course, Jason Kappa studied, and we will study lots of text by him. So he started the Gelugpa lineage. So what he wrote was the Lamrim Chenmo, which is the most famous book written in Tibet. It was 1,000 pages long. And we've been working on that short version of it, right? Which we should pick up again, because actually we're going to be using that in the last couple classes of this course too, as an object of meditation. So we're going to learn all about, I'll go into that in a little bit, what we'll cover in these classes, but the last couple classes will be what do you meditate on, and we'll use the Lamrim, the verses that we have, the source of all my good. We'll use that. Sure. So Lam was the path, Rim is stages or steps, and Chen is big. Mo is feminine ending. Great holy books of Buddhism have feminine endings, like wisdom. So he covers, this is like the, it's like a manual. What do you do to become enlightened? You go with the first step. So it was 1,000 pages long. And he took from different texts to put this together also.
And this was kept intact, the book that he
Yeah, I think so. So the things that we'll cover in these classes which this is a homework question too, like what are the 5 parts to our study of meditation? And the first one will be how to prepare for meditation. Like a warm-up, right? You don't go running a marathon without warming up first. So it's very helpful to do the steps of preparation before you start to meditate. So we'll touch on that at the end of the class. We're going to talk about like the physical environment of a successful meditation. There's 6 conditions. You know what is very helpful. How do you set up, and what should you do? And what kind of space and all that to have a conducive meditation. And then the third one is the correct posture of meditation. And they call that the posture of Vairocana. They say it's a 7-point posture. So we'll cover that. Sometimes they say 8, because the 8th point would be the breath. So we'll dive into that. And then the actual mental process during meditation. And the last one is the object. Very important too. So they're useful, right? These steps we'll cover. In that will be like the problems you'll encounter too. You know, we have very subtle enemies in meditation that might feel like you're having a good meditation, but in actuality you don't. You know, there's subtle dullness and there's agitation. Those are in their subtlest forms. They could be hard to detect, so we'll be talking about that. And how you correct them. Right? And then also the 9 stages of meditation. You can kind of figure out where you are, what stage are you from the beginning to shamatha. Yeah, and then the object of the meditation would be in the last couple classes. So the 5 parts for our study are how to prepare for meditation, 6 conditions for the ideal environment, correct posture, the actual mental process during meditation, and their object. What do we meditate on? So there's a short little story about Jason Kappa who is using different ancients' books to make this book, right? And plagiarism is approved in Buddhism. You can take all you want from other masters. No need to rewrite or even add holy words. You don't need to add 2 holy words of an omniscient being who knew everything, right? That you don't need to do that. So he's been using Master Kamala Shila's book, you don't need to know this, called the Gom Rim. And Master Kamala Shila was an Indian master, famous for debate. And he debated in the courts. He debated with a Chinese master called Huaxiang, who was teaching that meditation is just emptying your mind. Don't think about anything. And Master Kamala Shila was saying the opposite. So in this debate, he was saying meditation is an instrument, it's a tool. A microscope for focusing the mind on a meaningful object, and then you can change your whole reality, right? So it's not that you just try to empty your mind. It's not like that. So they had this big debate, and it was a time where debate was very serious. They would actually take on whoever would win this debate. They would take that on as their rule, or their way of living, right? So it was in the presence of the king and the advisor, so it was a big deal. Yeah. So Master Kamala Shila won, and his opponent's point of view was not permitted. So he was expelled from Tibet.
Oh wow.
Yeah. You're out.
Wow.
So when we'll talk about the 9 stages of meditation, I don't know if you've seen, we have a poster there on the wall, and that depicts the 9 stages, and it has the little monkey, the elephant, I think. You should have a look at it later. But we'll go over that, right? So all these stages, so I'm doing this because that's what they do in the picture. So at first you're very distracted, and as you practice every day, and you get better and better at it. So with this, the 9 stage, you can kind of see where you're at. I think the point of that is just, that you must do it daily. It's like exercise. If you don't do a little bit every day, then it's not going to happen. You will not get to see emptiness directly. And at this point, he still really says you have to meditate at least 1 hour a day, 1 to 2 hours a day. Like work 1 hour on all your preliminaries and then meditate for another hour. He's still saying that at this point. I know later on he doesn't say that anymore because it turns people off a bit because it's
Who's
a long
he?
time. Geshe Michael Roach.
Oh,
Yeah. So then later on he would say 15 minutes a day. Start with that and then build. And it's better to have short and intense focus than if you would sit for an hour and in that hour you're spaced out 45 minutes of that time, right? That's a waste of time. It's not good at all. So it's better to have it short and sweet. But at the same time, it's great if you can build on a little bit longer all the time. Because to see emptiness directly, you'll be gone for 20 minutes. So you need to be able to at least, get to that space where you can be gone for 20 minutes. So you should be able to sit for an hour, right? And it won't be a problem. Once you reach complete stillness, then sitting for an hour shouldn't be a problem at all. So we work towards that. Have we spoken about the 6 perfections? I'm pretty sure we have touched upon that before, right? You'll hear them again and again over the next few years. Do you want to give it a shot? Which ones are in the 6 perfections?
Generosity,
Yeah.
kindness, joyful effort, patience, stillness. I'm going to say wisdom.
Hey, awesome.
Okay.
Great. Very good. Good for you. Yeah, so you have them all. Yeah, you have them all. You just switched patience and joyful effort,
Okay.
which is no problem. But the traditional order would be giving or generosity, kindness, patience, joyful effort, concentration, stillness, wisdom. Alright, great job. So this course we'll be talking about number 5, right? Concentration and stillness. And what Geshe Michael Roach wanted to do in this class was, he said that it's kind of funny. He said that in Russian there's a lot of words for dark type of words. I can't remember what word he said, but like darkness or something kind of negative. And then he said, but in Tibetan we have like 100 words for wisdom and a lot of words for meditation. And he said because there's so many different words for meditation, he wanted to outline a few so we get them straight. What is the meaning of them? So we're going to do that. I'm gonna get the board so I can write them down.
That's really interesting. I guess it depends on what the culture focuses
Yeah.
on, right?
yeah. Well, when you look at Russian culture, there's history, there's a lot of darkness.
It's like It's kind of dark cold temperature, right? Cold, yeah.
You know, I'm so in love with the Tibetan culture. I'm learning a little bit more about it through. I've been taking some classes, some painting classes from a Tibetan teacher. And the last class that I went, there were. I wonder if we have a little.
Oh, you can use tissue, yes.
Would you be able to get something a little bit wet? That's not going to work. So the last class that we met, there were 2 new people. And we were sitting around introducing ourselves to each other, and then the Tibetan teacher said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you guys because that's not what we do in Tibet. We don't introduce. It's not custom." And he said the thing you do is always making sure you give them something. Make sure they get something before you do. And that's what they do. He said, it's all about humbling yourself, making yourself as small as possible, and always make it about other people, right? And here we are, you know, meeting at this thing, and it's like, hi, you know, this is me, this is my name, this is what I do. You know, it's like trying to make yourself big and show the world this is who I am. And over there, it's the opposite. It's like, no, I'm not here. Here you go, I'm offering you stuff, right? So I think that's so interesting as a culture, like, to live in such a way, or in our way, like, it's a big difference, right?
Yeah. So we need a spray for this. The other thing we do is, here's me and here's all my problems.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. For longer.
Thank you.
But we're very new, very kind of, we're mixed up here, right? We're people of all different cultures, so I think we're all trying to figure it out.
Sure. Yeah. Did you stop it?
No. I was just trying to make sure that you were on it. Yeah.
And it's true, the West is very self-focused.
Yeah. Yeah, and then he said when he goes back to Tibet, he's so used to living here now that he forgets some of those customs, right? And he's like that. Now he takes for himself often first, because that's what we do over here. And then when he goes there, he forgets to make sure someone else gets something first, and it's a really big offense. Like it's not okay, right? So yeah, it's very different. I find it very interesting. I love it. I really, That's what we're doing here too, right? We're trying to retrain how we do things, and are trying to become like that, making sure we let someone else go first in the door, or you know. And it's hard work. It's hard work to retrain something that you've been doing a certain way for a long time. And that's the same with our view, right? Takes a long time by doing it over and over and over again, and in meditation it's so great for that, to keep going, bumping your head against the ways that we've done it for eons. So the first word for meditation is gompa. Say gompa.
Gompa.
And this comes from the word gum, which means getting used to something.
Getting used to something.
Yeah. To habituate yourself. So that's what we're talking about, right? By doing it over and over again.
And this is a Tibetan word.
Tibetan word for meditation, and it's a little bit more of a general term for meditation. So you're bringing your mind to an object over and over and over again until you get used to it. And we do this a lot. Like, say you're at work and you don't like your coworkers. We'll bring their face up in our mind over and over and over again and tell ourselves what we don't like about them, right? That's gompa. That's getting used to something. So here we're trying to reverse that and make it pure, right? So if you can bring something virtuous to your mind over and over and over again until you get used to it, until you get it burned into your mind, very different. Very different. So meditation is like a permanent screensaver. So burning an image to your consciousness, so it gets fixed in your mind. Okay? So that's the most general word in Tibetan for meditation. In Sanskrit, it's ahava.
So burning an image.
Yeah.
Because I don't have images in my mind.
It can be ideas.
Yeah, ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be ideas. Sure. Virtuous ideas, right?
Yeah.
Preferably.
Well, your mind's free, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Another word in Tibetan that's gumsha, which is, very close to that, would be literally meaning getting used to something. So the second one is samtam. And in Sanskrit it's dhyana.
Sorry,
Samtam. Yeah.
When you hear words like dhyana, is it similar in Arabic as well? Do you recognize some of the words from Sanskrit to Arabic?
No, because I couldn't remember.
Oh, you didn't. Oh, good.
Gujarati.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So do you recognize in Gujarati?
No. Do you?
Yeah.
Hindu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not the Tibetan ones, but definitely like dhyana.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah.
So samtam is the Tibetan word for the fifth perfection, which is
Stillness.
yeah, stillness, concentration. So there's kind of two meanings to samtam, and the first one is that, the fifth perfection. And it also refers to 4 levels of deep meditation. Which can result in a rebirth in one of the 4 form realms. So these realms are quite exquisite. So there's three realms, okay? Do you know what realm we are in? Have you heard that before?
The form realm?
We're not in the
Desire.
form realm, no.
The desire.
Yeah, desire realm. We are in the desire realm. And they often say because of food and sex. So the desire realm is where we are. So then there's the other two realms are the form realm and the formless realm. So these are the three realms of suffering beings. Okay. So form realm, we can't see it unless you are in deep state of meditation, right? So beings that live in the form realm live in a way of high pleasure, with beautiful bodies, rainbow bodies.
Are these like angels?
Well, I think they're referred to as gods sometimes. Yeah. But they're still in a suffering realm, right? Even though they're seemingly in paradise, and they live in that pleasure until their karma runs out, and then they go straight down to the lowest hell.
That's what he was talking about. John was talking. Oh, maybe he was not.
I didn't
Talking
finish
about that on
reading.
Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't finish listening to you.
So we say it's not worth going for this, okay?
So they plunge even lower then?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, because they use up all their good karma by hanging out in paradise, not doing anything virtuous, right? They're just using it up.
Oh.
And is there a possibility for them to do anything virtuous in that realm?
I'm not certain.
Mhm.
I'm not certain. I would hope so. But,
So they're not really angels and gods. Okay. Yeah.
Pleasure seekers.
so what happens is, like you can go in a deep meditation and go and just bliss out. Go in this state where you just completely bliss out.
Yeah.
There's a danger to that, because when you do that all the time, you will get born in like that. There's not a benefit to it, because when you are going and being like completely blissed out, going to this form realm, going to this place where everything's cool, then you come back, and then what? You'll still have anger, you still have jealousy, you still have all of that. So you haven't worked on becoming more pure, right? You're not purifying all your crap. You're not working on your worldview. No, you're just going to bliss out. So therefore, it can result into being born in a place like that. And then as you're there, all you do is bliss out all the time. So you haven't dealt with anything. Okay, so yeah, at some point your karma's going to run out. And I don't know why what pops up for me. It's not in the class, but I'm just thinking like stupidly rich people that somehow come into all this money, and all they do is use it for their own pleasure, and not doing anything good with it. At some point they're going to be on the bottom, right? To me that makes sense. If you're not going to use it in a good way to help people, or have good thoughts about it, then at some point it's going to end, right? And you're not perpetuating it by giving it away or by helping beings, right? So I see that a little bit in the same way, right? Of going to a realm like this, you're not doing anything good for anybody, not even for yourself, but you're just kind of enjoying. So,
I'm trying to think of like when I did meditation, like I remember doing some meditation with a teacher, and it was more like an expansive type of meditation where you try to get your awareness outside your body, like you're continually expanding your awareness, and then you sort of get to a place where you feel like that you're very expansive and you're sort of like merged with all of reality, so to speak. Just giving words to it. But she would be able to tell me, like I knew what was going on for me, but she would be able to tell me when I got there. And it was like a form of bliss, but it was very nice. But it wasn't like I was on like drugs or anything, that kind of blissed out. It was just this sense of oneness. Is that the same as bliss then? Like for me,
I think
that was a very nice.
just
place
as
to
long
be.
as you have the component of karma and emptiness in it,
Yeah.
you're covered. But if you're not,
Yeah.
then
Those words.
Then-
I mean, I had heard the words emptiness until I came to these courses.
But if you think that it's self-existent, that you are going to be to these beautiful, blissful places because the lady tells you to do so, then that's a mistaken view, right? You need to have the great virtue, the karma, to experience something beautiful and understand that it's all your perception. If your perception was different, if your karma was different, you would experience everything different. Like if you bring wisdom into it, then any meditation can be useful. But if you're just doing it, it's your motivation. Why are you doing it? Is it going to get you out of suffering if you're just going to a place to bliss out? No, it's not. So then it's not very useful, right? And I know that there's all sorts of meditation that's great to do to help you to reach more stillness, like watching your breath or whatever, right? But have in the back of your mind that you're doing it so you can become more still, more aware, so you can reach higher states and see emptiness directly, right? But if you're doing it out of a motivation just because it's blissful, then it's not going to help you. Might give you a nice experience in those 10 minutes. Great, but it's not going to get you out of suffering. So if you would do that, I'm not saying, I wasn't there, so I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about this, right? If you would go to these form realms to bliss out all the time, it's not getting you out of suffering. Might be very pleasant for a while, but then it won't be when your karma runs out. So we said there's 3 realms: desire realm, form realm, formless realm. Okay. So in a formless realm, there's no physical bodies. Purely mental beings. Okay?
When people see ghosts and spirits, where do they fit in then? In the desire realm still? Like disembodied spirits?
No, I don't think they would fit in the desire realm. Well, maybe. The bardos do fit into... Bardos is the time, right, after you die, and before you go into your next birth, Bardo is in the desire realm. Yeah, I'm not sure, actually.
Maybe that's it then.
Might fit. So, alright. So why do I care about this? Okay, because we need to go. So there's 4 levels of the form realm. In order to see emptiness directly, you have to go to the first level of the form realm. Okay. So it is important that you'll be able to go there. Because it's the platform. It's the platform from where you get shut up to see emptiness directly.
So you want to go to the first, but you don't want to go higher.
Okay, so those were the 3 meanings of Semtem. First one was it's the 5th perfection, okay, which was concentration, stillness. Second one is it's the kind of meditation which, if it's all that you do, you'll be born in the form realm as a god. And the third meaning was the first level of the form realm is where you will see emptiness.
Is this a homework question?
No, I don't think so. I mean, it is in the homework what is something, so you'll need to describe it. Yeah. So it would be nice if you could actually bring all that in there.
Do you have to give, like, you know, sometimes in brackets you ask for the Sanskrit or the Tibetan?
In this case, they give you the Tibetan already in the homework,
Okay.
so you don't need to.
But in the quizzes, I was just working on quiz number 2. Do you have to give the Tibetan or Sanskrit definitions or not? Or just put it in English?
Well, you're doing the English track, so you don't have to.
Perfect.
But it's, you know, can't hurt if you... Because some of these names you'll hear a lot, so it's nice to know them,
Okay.
right? And there's not really a direct translation in English for these few words. Normally we get them, so you can know them in English. But in this case, because it's all kind of meditation, right? So it would be helpful to know them. So the next one is Nyomjuk. Say Nyomjuk.
Nyomjuk.
In Sanskrit, Samapati. So this refers generally to a deep meditation. And this one is a caused meditation where it causes a rebirth in the formless realm. So I was a little bit confused about it, what the difference was between Samtem and Nyomjuk. And I was talking to Lama John about it, and I think what he was trying to tell me is that Nyomjuk is a little bit more, maybe Samtem is more broad, and Nyomjuk is more advanced stage of this kind of meditation.
Nyomjuk is more advanced.
Yeah.
Okay. But it still causes rebirth.
Yeah, it causes rebirth in the formless realm.
In the formless.
Formless or form realm.
Oh, in both.
Yeah. Some people mistake it for heaven, you know, when you're in this land of the gods and everything's beautiful. They think they might be in Nirvana, right? You might be in heaven. What is being said about Nyumjok too is that it's given a name. It's given this name, cessation meditation, where your mind is almost shut down completely. So this is sometimes mistaken as nirvana, but it's not in itself a spiritual goal. And the word related to so nyom means equilibrium, equal, meaning that in this meditation one must learn to keep balance of the two extremes, dullness and agitation. So I'm guessing that you can, when you do this, right? When you're quite advanced meditator, so you would be able to stay in the middle between dullness and agitation. So it's very seductive. Also, like, your ego thinks you're a great meditator if you can go to these things. So, but it's not a real cessation of your mental afflictions. It's not. Like I explained earlier, you still have to deal with it all. Like, when you just shut your mind down, it doesn't mean that it's not there anymore. Right?
So when you come out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've heard that before, that, this meditator was in meditation for a few years, and he's got dreadlocks, he's got rats running over him, and when he came out, he instantly got angry because of the rat chewing on him or something, right? So then you're not an accomplished meditator because you haven't dealt with your crap. And that's really part of it, right? It is part of it. Otherwise you're just escaping it. Just like anything else, like what we do during the day all the time. We listen to music, or we make sure we're busy, so we don't have to deal with our own mind. We find ways, right? So this would be another way to do that. So the question was like, so why would Lord Buddha teach these types of meditation then, if there's no benefit to it, right? And the answer to that is, he would teach people where they're at, and if it would mean that you'd have to teach this in order to have them stick around, then so be it. That's why there's so many levels, and they might not all be fully true. But if that's what a person is at that moment, then that's what you'll offer until they're ready for more and higher teachings, right? So you work with where the student is at. So the next one is Shine. And Shamatha in Sanskrit. So that's one that we hear a lot.
Were they the same, Shine and Sanskrit?
Yeah, Shine is the Tibetan. And Shi means peace, and Ne means stay. So say Shine.
Shine.
So Shine is the highest evolution of meditation. Shamatha is the perfection, the fifth perfection. It is, right? You have perfected it. You have perfected the fifth perfection if you have shamatha. And it means you can concentrate on an object of your choice as long as you wish. And it's imbued with bliss because you've practiced it so often. So now if you would combine shamatha with a powerful object, then you're really like a rocket. Because you can have shamatha on a non-virtuous object, you can have shamatha on money, right? That can be your object, that's all you can think about, non-stop, right? But if you would have shamatha and you inject it with wisdom, vipassana, vipassana, yeah, which means emptiness.
So is that perceiving emptiness then when you get to that?
No, not yet.
No.
I mean, it could.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to have shamatha in order to see emptiness directly, so you could, yeah. Yeah. So if you can link it with Lakton, they say, exceptional seeing, which is vipassana in Sanskrit, is understanding emptiness. Then it's the most powerful meditation you can do. Geshe Michael says, when you hear shamatha, you should think vipassana. You should have them together. You should be married. So that's the goal of your meditation. So then you have the fifth and sixth perfection at their highest level.
So are we going to learn how to do this?
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will we have time to practice?
Oh, you mean to do? Yeah, I mean, not today, but I will lead you through some meditations. It's actually not in the course, but I will add some meditations. And the last two classes will be all about what to meditate on.
Yeah. So when you say object,
Yeah.
higher, what do you mean by object?
Object is
Like your teacher? Or?
whatever you focus on, right? So
It's like a mantra?
could be, I guess. An object of your meditation would be what you're going to meditate on or about. And yeah, it's great to meditate on emptiness. That would be a really powerful object. Yeah. We'll talk about it. Your Lama is always extremely powerful, of course. Bring wisdom into that. Very powerful. So, but this is really what I'm talking about right now is shamatha. If you combine that with wisdom, So trying to figure out how your world is working with full concentration on that.
Would you like some more tea?
I would like some, yeah.
Sorry.
It's hefty, yeah.
Do you want to take a couple minute break?
Sure.
Okay.
It's funny, it's probably, so a little bit
It's a lot of,
overwhelming.
of course. There's a lot of terms. But don't worry about it. It will become more clear. That's what all these courses for. We take everything apart, right? In time.
So would a like I've done some Vipassana meditation.
Vipassana, yeah. So that's the Pali word. But what he's saying is that it kind of lost it's a misnomer. Like it's a meditation. But he's saying like Vipassana is wisdom. And that kind of got lost in Vipassana. So we're trying to,
Right. It's very popular.
Yeah, it's very popular.
Very well.
But it lost the wisdom teachings. Yeah. So it's not the same. Vipassana.
Yeah.
And
And it's also
Vipassana.
very self-focused. Really focusing on your physical sensations.
Right.
Oh dear.
We only need a couple more. They're not so hard.
I find that a lot in Asian cultures, that how you were describing Tibetan cultures. Very simple, like, like I noticed that in Nepal and
Yeah.
a little bit in India, but definitely Nepal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's Thai sometimes.
I know.
When you give food, you don't just give, even Ethiopian, right? You make sure that everyone is fed.
It's nice.
Yeah, and you feed others.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you
that's
share-
what I
and you
love
share
traveling
food.
through
Yeah.
Asia, Thailand, Laos. It's so different.
Yeah.
I feel very attracted to those places. There's this, it's different.
Just here it's hard in a way, because it's this perception that you have to do everything on your own as well. Right? You have your own little house, and then you have to have your lawnmower, and you have to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it makes it really hard for people, because you feel lonely in the world, right?
Yeah.
But our Western values are kind of seeping into other places really quickly.
Yeah.
And
But the opposite also, right?
is here, yeah, because I think we've had the material.
Thank you.
We have the material wealth, and I think I'm kind of getting that it doesn't give you happiness, right? You can have as many clothes as you want,
Yeah.
as much yummy food, and
Yeah, it's true.
we have it all here. I don't see that many happy people walking around.
well, it's good to a degree. Like, if you don't have it, you'll be unhappy. But you need a certain amount of like, materials. Like to pay the bills, to have food, to have shelter. Right? And then beyond that, then it's not a, yeah, then it doesn't really determine whether you're happy or not, right? But if you're constantly, like, some of the poorest,
I don't know, I see some of the poorest and
Yeah, that
there's some of
happens.
the stillest people that
Yeah.
we would meet. I don't know, I mean, I know it's hard for them, but I don't know. They don't have as much distractions as we do, right? They're not on their phones, they're very present because they don't have the money to escape and go to movies and,
Right.
I mean, I'm romanticizing it. There's lots of people that use drugs and life is very hellish.
can I offer you?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good. I have any more?
Thank you for all of it. It's so sweet. I got some stuff.
Here people don't give to the poor. You know, people expect people just to get up and pull out their socks and start working. But you go to India or other countries, people give to the poor. Like it's part of, it's the expectation of how you give your money, right? But here, like oftentimes you see people sitting on the street,
Yeah.
50 people will walk by and nobody will look at them or give to them.
Yeah.
Right.
I give. Whenever I go downtown, I make sure that I take loonies and tunes with me. But I've been thinking a lot about that, and like in a lot of Eastern cultures, or actually not even Eastern, even the Catholic cultures, they tithe, right? You give 10% of your wages. But if you look over here in our country, so much of our taxes go towards social programs. So for us, we have like a forced tithing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right? So then are you supposed to, is in Buddhism, is there tithing? Supposed to give a certain share of your income towards?
I don't know if
No.
you're supposed to. I mean,
Yeah.
of course it's encouraged to give wherever you can. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
I did ask John because
Uh-huh.
I grew up in the Smiley faith and that was part of it, right? You give 10%
Of your
of your
earnings.
earnings.
Yeah.
And I said, well, no, I don't have the expectation at all. If you want to give 10% of your earnings, give, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of opportunities
Yeah.
to give to your sangha, but it's not a must.
Yeah.
So let's finish off here.
Sure.
So the next one is called Tingenzin. Say Tingenzin.
Tingenzin.
I like that word. Tingenzin.
Tingenzin.
So that is a word for meditation that emphasizes the ability to keep your mind on a single object. So it's single-pointed concentration. So we just did shamatha. Shamatha is basically that involved, like you can do it for as long as you want. Tingenzin could be for very brief. Okay? Single-pointed concentration. And everybody has it. Bugs have it. Okay? We all have the ability to concentrate on something.
Right.
And you can think about, like, maybe if you're fully into watching a movie and you're just completely in it, right? You're fully concentrated on that. Or you're lost in a song or in painting or whatever, right? You are single-pointedly concentrating. So that in the evolved form would be shamatha. And that's what we want. So that's Tingenzen, and in Sanskrit it's called Samadhi. Samadhi.
So your breath, so focusing on your breath
It could be.
would be,
If you are fully focused on it, then yes. Then it can be single point concentration. Yeah, unless you got also other things going on, then it wouldn't be.
so Vipassana is this as well, right?
Right. Is concentrating on your body parts.
Well, it's the sensations within your body.
Okay. Yeah, it could be if you.
So it's tracking, that was my experience of that.
If you're single pointedly concentrate on it, then sure, it can be.
I mean, your mind always goes off and then you bring it back.
So it can be anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be that. It can be watching a movie. It can be doing an art project. It can be singing a song. Like it,
Yeah.
you know, it can be a lot of things.
So really, yeah.
So yeah, holding any object for anywhere from a moment would be single pointed concentration. So then the last one is Nyam Shak Je Tup. Nyam Shak
Nyam Shak
Je Tup.
Jade.
So this is the meditation where you see emptiness directly. So Namshak is seeing emptiness. J-Tup would be the realization after you see emptiness. Which would be the 4 Arya truths, where you see your future life, you know, when you're going to become a Buddha, you know what your name would be, like that, right? We'll get into all of that too at some point.
When people see emptiness directly, do they talk about that to people that get into groups and say, oh yeah? No. It's a very private thing.
It's a very private thing, yeah.
And is it a rare thing to see emptiness directly?
Yeah, I'd say so. But, you know, you gotta look at it this way. Like, when you have the virtue to sit in a class like this, to hear the teachings, then you're a rare case already. So you're very, very close to seeing emptiness directly. If you can hear this stuff. Because most people can't, right? They don't look at what the rest of the world is doing right now. They're not sitting here learning about it. So it means that you're a special case. So you are very close. If you haven't seen it already. But, you know, it's not something that people preach around for various reasons.
If someone's seeing emptiness directly, they'd be able to recognize another individual that's seen it directly. They say,
Yeah.
well, might
Yeah.
not even say it, but there'd be a knowing.
Oh yeah, they'll know. They'll know. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're different, you know, and you get to see all these. You gain all these abilities. You know, you'll be able to more and more after you see emptiness directly start to read people's minds, and you know you're slowly, if you're, you know, on a tantric path, you're slowly turning into non-physical body. You know, people might see you as physical, but you see yourself very differently. So yeah, the way you see people is very differently. Before you see emptiness directly, like after you see emptiness directly, you can see people dealing with their stuff.
I'm trying to think, you know, in that book, How Yoga Works, right at the end, they see each other and they turn to light. So for them, it was a gradual process. Like the perception of emptiness didn't come up there. For the sergeant, it was or captain, I think it was a captain. It was a general progression where he evolved over the course of a year or whatever it was.
And it is like that. It's not happen like that, right? I mean, after you see emptiness directly, you still have mental affliction, you still have a lot of stuff to deal with, but because your wisdom now has, you know, you are wisdom. So every time something might come up, you kill it with your wisdom, you know, and it will never come back again. And you know, that's what we do before we see emptiness too, but it's very different when you have seen it, because you've become way more powerful being because of where your mind has been. So you'll transform really quickly because of the wisdom that you have. That you now really, really know how reality works. So because so you go through this process after you see emptiness directly of still getting rid of all your mental afflictions, all your negative seeds, and when those are done, then what? Then you're in nirvana. You're just bliss all the time. But you continue, you know, throughout that whole process, you continue to change, and because of what's on your mind, and because your mind is so powerful, everything is changing so quickly. Your body can change really quickly. Just the way you see everything, you get way more abilities to perform miracles, and you know, it goes really quite quickly after. It's beautiful. So those were the meditation types. Now, next class we're going to be talking about the preliminaries, and I'm going to list them right now, and then next week we're going into them. Okay?
Do you want us to write it down?
Yeah, because it will be in your homework, so you want to write them down. But we're not going to go into them. We'll do that next week. Okay? So the preliminaries are, there's 6 of them. The first one is you create a clean, sacred space. So you clean up, you tidy your room. Then the next step is you set up your altar, you make offerings. Number 3 is going for refuge, generating bodhicitta. Number 4, visualize the lamas of the 2 great lineages.
And what are they? Do you know them?
So the 2 great lineages are emptiness and compassion.
Who are the lamas?
Well, that can be anyone, right? That whoever. Well, we're going to go talk about this next week. The next one is gathering good energy and purifying the obstacles.
Okay, I'm stuck on number 4. Visualize the lands of the two great lineages, which are emptiness and compassion. So you have one lama to realize emptiness and possibly a second lama to have compassion.
You can put
Put them
everything
together.
in one. Yeah. Or if you have more than one lama, you can put 2, you can put however many you want.
So it's a teacher, right? But it doesn't have to be a Tibetan.
No,
It could be like Lama Root talks about, like your guru.
absolutely. Your lama is the representation of compassion and emptiness. Yeah. Should be. So gathering good energy, purifying obstacles is number 5. And then the last one is requesting blessings from the holy beings.
Sorry, what was that? Requesting blessings?
Yeah. Requesting blessings.
So holy beings are ultimately the Buddha himself. Anybody-
Yeah, or again, like when you have a lama, he's taking in the place for the Buddha, right? So you can use your lama forever.
Okay.
But yeah, you can definitely place Lord Buddha. Absolutely. Anybody who you see as holy, yeah, you give them the power to bless you.
So like what you're saying is like I grew up with learning about gurus. I can put one of the gurus there that I see as a
Yeah, absolutely.
compassionate.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my mother would have to see that. Not that I'm pleasing her, but yeah.
Put your mom up there.
Hey?
You can put your mom up there.
Oh,
no, there you
no.
go.
There are. I hear there are meditations for mothers too.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one last time, and actually Lama John gave us one. Remember for ACI 1?
Mm-hmm. ACI 1 we did the mother meditation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I looked it up. It was a while ago.
So that was class.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So we'll close up with the prayer. Unless you have any more questions, of course.
So how many classes in total?
10. Yeah.
And there'll be a break when you go away.
Yeah, I think it'll be only 1 week. I'm doing a retreat somewhere, but I'll let you know once dates are finalized. We'll definitely be here next week and the week after. Angie? Inam Guru Ratnam Sonam Yeshe Lesion Way Dampa Kuni Dampa
I love that last one, the dedication.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.